Pa, thank you so much for joining me here this evening. I mean, huge news. You have your first ever concert film coming out worldwide. How did that come about? Like that is something big that not a lot of bands get to do, especially a band from Sweden.
Uh, True. But so it starts like this. We did the tour last year, the tour to end all tours, and for the European part of that, we had a quite big production. We were traveling with as much as 140 people around Europe, and the stage was pretty big, and the show was quite something we have never done before.
Mm.
And we thought it was so damn cool, and we thought that more people need to see it. Unfortunately, we cannot travel with all of those people and all of that stuff around the world. Uh, Sabaton is a little bit unequal. In Europe, we are way more popular than what we are in some other places.
Mm.
So that also reflects in the type of show we can and cannot do in various places of the world. But uh, so we decided we want to record it, and we actually recorded several shows during the tour, but we decided to go for the one from Amsterdam for the concert film because it was partly okay. It was the biggest show on the tour, which is one way of doing it, but it's also very modern and beautiful and nice arena,
Mm.
which makes life easy to make a good filming.
Yes, and I've been lucky enough to preview the film as well, and I got to say the cinematography on it was beautiful. The big wide angle shots of just that whole crowd and capturing all of you on stage. I'm sure, of course, you've watched it back. Are you a little bit in awe when watching that as well? Did it kind of like, did it hit home as like this is something really good? I'm glad we can show this to the world.
So after the tour, we kind of stopped touring since. I mean, that was in March last year,
Mm.
March April, and after that we kind of closed down Sabaton for songwriting and other projects that we are working on. So sitting and editing that, you know, makes me feel, oh, I miss touring so damn much. So it was a little taste of all the time to look at that and feel like, oh, damn, I want to go on tour again. Obviously, we have been a little bit of it. We did a tour in the a couple of months ago, we were in
Mm.
the America with Judas Priest, and tonight I'm flying back to America to finish up the tour with Judas Priest. So,
Yep.
in a couple of hours, I'm leaving. So this is my last thing I'm doing at home, basically, is doing a couple of interviews for the cinema, and then quickly packing my bags and heading off.
Well, I won't keep you for too long then, because I know that it's a bit of a long flight, not as long as the Australian flight. How do you find that coming down to Australia? You've been here, I want to say it's 3, 4 times now. Do you think you'll be coming back in the near future, perhaps on a new album cycle?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, we are working on new music. We are working on a new album, and yes, we want to take that to Australia as well.
Yeah.
I cannot say when on or how because we haven't. We have a lot of tour plans, but we haven't revealed anything yet.
Yeah. No, of course, of course. And speaking about, like you're talking about America, how do you find the different crowds all over the world? Because you really have traveled all over the world. How do you find like a European crowd to an American crowd, or even an Australian crowd for that matter? Because you've played festivals down here as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, in general, it's like relatively okay. So some countries, US is huge, Europe
Yeah.
is huge. So whatever happens in Sweden doesn't have it happen in Greece, for example. So Southeast Europe is usually my favorite to
Yep.
play in. There I find the crowd very enthusiastic, very loud, and so I like that. With the US, like now we're gonna tour with Judas Priest, it's mostly seated crowds.
Mm.
So not so exciting, I would say. But but yeah. So I can't really say that it's the problem of the people. Obviously, when you're touring with Judas Priest, it's gonna be a quite old audience
Yep.
for a lot of it. The younger audience is probably there because of us, and but nonetheless, they love the music, and I mean, it's not for everybody to jump up and down.
Mm.
So we're happy for anybody, but of course it's more fun to play on the stage when people are crazy and wild. And then I would go Southeast Europe or something like that.
And speaking of crazy and wild, I have to go back to 2019, 30 years of Wacken, that performance on the double stage. Give me a little bit of insight into that, just a little bit, because that is got to be one of my favorite performances I have ever seen live. What a like jaw-dropping experience that was.
And we wanted to do something a little bit crazy, and when I presented the idea, at first people were like, "Excuse me, are you joking?" And then, but then they started to think about it, like, "Yeah, but it's so complicated." But okay, let's make it happen. And it was a bit when I explained the idea to the Wacken organizers. So I didn't tell what we're gonna do. I just said I need both stages 2 hours and no interruption and nothing. And they were like, yeah, okay, so how should we prepare? Don't prepare anything. We will bring you 2 cables, one speaker left, one right. That's all we will plug into your system. The rest we will take care of. And you don't need to bother about backstage. We will build our own. You don't need to think about Sabaton at all. We will come, we will play, and we will leave, and you will be impressed. And they kind of liked that idea and the pitch. And so we kept everything completely secret. We built in our hometown, in our warehouse, we built, we have quite big space. So we built in 2 hangars. We built like one stage setup, one in another, and that's how we rehearsed. And then we kept all the equipment completely intact. Every cable, every little thing was intact. And we just moved it from Sweden down to Germany exactly as it was plugged in. So we know that we are not relying on anybody else, because technically this is a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
When you have to hear the both stages and the both drummers and all that stuff at the same time. So we needed to make sure that nothing technically goes wrong, and that's how we did it. We just brought every little thing, and then we plugged in left, right, and then when we left the Wacken production team, they were like, "Wow, that was pretty impressive done." We've had a lot of smaller shows here that were complicated, and then you come and do the biggest show we've ever seen, and you make it completely uncomplicated. So hats off. Yeah,
well,
it was fun.
Well, you're like an organizer's dream. Hats off to your crew as well. That's just got to be amazing to be able to do all that and just go in and have. I'm assuming nothing went wrong, because it sure didn't look like anything went wrong on that stage. Everything sounded perfect.
Yeah, nothing went wrong. So yeah, of course, big thanks to our fantastic crew.
Now, you're a busy man. You're off to America soon. And speaking of busy, and I want to touch on this a bit. I don't know if you've talked about it a lot, because I am a backer on the Kickstarter, your Lord of
Oh,
Metal game. I cannot
yeah.
wait for this. Like, how'd that come about? Because that is, I like playing simulation games, and the fact that this isn't a cash for grab mobile game either, where you've got to pay to win, and it is an actual story driven PC game. How'd that come to be? Because it just seems like, wow, this should have been done years ago, but you're doing it. It's looking amazing. It's looking
Thank
unreal.
you. Yeah, yeah, I'm also pretty happy. I mean, it was in the during Corona.
Mm,
So various discussions. How do we do it? Because we couldn't do Sabaton open air.
yep.
So I was sitting with a couple of guys from the computer games industry, and during the lockdown, and we were discussing how can we do Sabaton open air without, like, can we do it digital? Can we do it like that? And then I had the idea that I wanted to build a game, and I started to think, can we do the real life mechanics? I mean, I'm doing this for life. I mean, this is what I've been doing. I manage the band, that I book shows, and I organize a festival and these kind of things. So I know everything involved.
Yeah.
And while some people might think that this is boring and horrible and difficult and whatever, I enjoy it. So that's why I'm doing it. I love it. And then I was also, I think it's very fun,
Mm,
at least for me. So then I thought, what if can this be sort of gamified?
yeah.
Can my world be gamified? And yes, it can be, and that's what is happening now.
That's fantastic. Are you a big gamer yourself, or is this kind of a bit of new territory for yourself getting into it?
No, I always a big gamer since yeah, since I was born basically. So yeah, I always love games, and I'm pretty involved in the gaming industry. Got a lot of friends there, and and now I have my own company. So yeah.
Which is unreal. And I was kind of blown away. Were you kind of shocked at how big that Kickstarter opening 24 hours was as well? Because I think you had a 75,000, you blew right past that straight away.
Yeah, and now it's probably the double that or something. So we're happy. The campaign was successful, and had a little bit of celebration, and yeah, it's going on. It's rolling,
Yep.
and this definitely helps us. We now have a community which we'll work closely with to as we develop the game. So next stage of the game will be seen in March, I think. That's the plan.
Very
But
exciting.
the whole game is set for a release much later.
Yeah, no, but it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just glad there's one coming out. I'll be patient and I'll wait for it. But like I said, I don't want to keep you too long today, especially since you've got to fly to America. But I do want to say, is there anything you want to say to, especially the Australian fans watching this who are going to be seeing the movie next month, who, there is new music in the future, there's possibility of tours in the future. What do you want people to be excited about with things going on in the Sabaton camp?
I mean, there's always things going on in the Sabaton camp, and right now it's cinema, which turned out to be something much cooler than we anticipated, and a
Mm,
bigger story than we anticipated. The way we kind of started to talk about this, we wanted to show it to the world, sure, how the tour is gonna look like and stuff, but and and we were in talks with our Swedish uh, the partner who's doing our show is in Sweden, and he was like, can we take the filming and see what we can do with it, because we would like to try something. We haven't really tried to do a live like cinema thing, but it
mm,
would be cool. So we discussed a little bit, and then okay, let's try it. And we didn't went to any big distribution company that would normally guarantee you worldwide global distribution for a cinema like this. We went to the tiny little thing in Sweden called Folkets Hus och Parker, which doesn't make any sense for you, but it's an independent like a collection of cinemas in Sweden and how they are organized in order to survive.
yep.
And so and together, like in a quite unique collaboration, we have added country by country by country in this, and treating every country unique in terms of promotion,
Mm,
marketing, PR, and distribution. And which has been a super exciting story. We started out with, okay, we got a couple of cinemas now in Sweden, and now we are at we have announced like 750 cinemas, and in a little while I think we're gonna cross 1,000.
wow.
So because we are about to add some more territories, and with that and how it's been done, it's a very cool part of the exciting story. I'm super happy to see Australia being um, so many cinemas participating.
Mm,
There was never any guarantee, and so I spoke with somebody before from your country, and he explained that normally when there are cinemas like that, they are shown in one or two or the biggest cinemas only. But here it's quite a lot. I don't have the full count of the Australian cities, but I think there are around 40 cinemas participating or something, and this is not something that you know was forced upon them or something. These are
mm,
they like the idea and they choose to participate, and it's also a fan grown thing, because fans, we do not know how to reach all these
yeah.
cinemas, and we do not have, as I said, a big distribution. So a lot of it is suggestions by fans as well, and the cinemas are like, wow, that sounds fun, okay, let's check it out, and then we are happy to accommodate and help them. So it's again, we are doing something our way that isn't really the traditional way of doing it. The previous year we had our movie, the animated movie, which did
Yes.
not come to Australia.
No.
We had that was a in the it was supposed to be shown in museums, and we had a huge interest from the museums in Australia. But due to the time it takes to clear something for the rating,
Yes.
we applied too late, so we couldn't show it, and that's all on us. We didn't know that Australia was a very long time in the process where you need something to be cleared for the language and these kind of things. So that was the sad thing, that this movie was not shown in Australia, but the interest was there, and feel sorry for the fans. And we're working on another chance for Australia to see the movie as well. But yeah, on the concert movie, we were out a little bit earlier, and we
Yeah.
had it approved.
No, it's fantastic. And like you mentioned as well, like it is, when I saw it said it was coming to Australia, I thought I'd have to go all the way into Sydney to see it. There's probably about 10 cinemas within 30 minutes from me that are all showing it. So I'm spoiled for choice. So it really is
Oh,
kind of playing everywhere. Yeah, no, I kind of looked at it, I was like, oh, I don't even need to pick. I can go to anyone I want. It's like a big blockbuster coming out down here. Like every cinema around me is showing it, which is unreal. And I thought was super cool. And it's really cool to see that your reach kind of comes literally to the opposite side of the world for something like this. And it's very exciting, and it's very exciting to see everything you guys continue to do, whether it be new music, a video game for yourself. But Pa, thank you so much for being here tonight. I hope you have a great tour over in America, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the future of Sabaton holds, because you guys keep surprising me with what you're releasing.
yeah, and we got, of course, we got something really cool coming. I know
Yeah.
we've been working a while on new music, and yeah, I won't tell too
Yeah.
much, but it's gonna come, and I think you're definitely not gonna be disappointed.
Oh, okay, okay. Looking forward to, well, Pa, thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of
Thank
your
you.
day. Have fun, mate. Thank you for being
You
here
too.
today. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.